What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Gotham After Show on the theStreamtv fan show network. Man, I know we saw that episode. I'm your main host, Devon. On my left, I got your boy, David.
Hi, David Fichtenmayer. Good to be here.
On my right, as usual, we got the lovely Vi.
Lovely Vi. Hello.
And at the end, unfortunately, Tommy B couldn't be with us today, but we have the guy that you all know and love with me on the Flash, Dylan.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy to be here.
Yeah.
This guy looks familiar, I guess.
You know what I'm saying? This is how it is sometimes. We all love here.
Yeah.
You know, everybody on the stream.tv. That's what we do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, before we even get started, go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama, tell her don't turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on the stream.tv. Okay, dinner can wait. All right? So, we're going to start off first by saying the obvious. The Penguin, a.k.a. what's his spot? Oswald Cobblepot. Yeah,
right.
Oswald. I was gonna call him Patton Oswald again. I keep wanting to do
Everyone
that.
keeps doing it.
Everybody
It
keeps
just
doing
flows
that.
off the tongue.
So
Patton
it's not
Oswald.
just me. Okay.
I guarantee you Patton Oswald loves that.
He does.
Yeah.
He's like free exposure. Cool. Even though he don't really need it, you know. Okay. But yes. So Oswald returns. Okay. Now, I mean, immediately my first thought is we already know who he becomes in the end. Of course, he becomes the Penguin. We all know this.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything but negativity coming from his return, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
No, he's not setting himself up for a redemption arc. He's coming to get stuff. He's coming to start, getting his fingers in all those pies.
Right. So is the question whether his motives are positive or negative? Is he double-crossing James Gordon right off the bat? That, I don't know. I feel like if you're someone that maybe has had a troubled past, and maybe you're trying to seem like you might be getting yourself back together, you might want to try to do the right thing.
Nope.
No?
He's playing that stuff from. He's playing all the sides from the beginning. He's not playing just the bad guys, He's not just going to try to put Maroni against Fish Mooney and vice versa. He's going to try to put the cops against them all. He just wants to rise to the top.
Yeah, I can agree with Vi on that one. I mean, I don't see anything good from him. He always has that look. He's always eavesdropping. He's always looking for something to get that
And he
one
wore that yellow douchebag collar for too long. It just made him douchey.
It's just stuck in there now. Huh? That's all we got. Yeah, but
My thing is that I feel like, I think obviously he's making all of his plays, he's doing all of these things, but I think he's coming back to Jim Gordon specifically. It's like having a dirty cop not knowing that he's dirty. Does that make sense?
Sure,
so
yeah. No, yeah,
so
because
he's going to keep feeding Jim Gordon all this information to make Jim Gordon investigate, so it's to, at the same time, throw him off his own scent.
Yes.
Yes,
totally.
Yeah,
so
for
what
sure.
are the pros and cons of him doing this? Is he going to you think it's going to backfire?
of course it's going to backfire. You know what I'm saying? We don't know whether it's going to be on Jim Gordon. We don't know whether it's going to be on Oswald. So it depends. But, I mean, so far from what we've seen, it looks like Oswald's plan is working exactly how he wants it to. So it's going in there. But, I mean, I don't know what other areas this is going to downplay on Jim, though.
Right. So is Jim an idiot for trusting him?
True, I believe so. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
Jim,
we've already seen it's starting to now it's affecting his home relationship.
Oh yeah, no, that's.
And we
that's
just
true.
saw the preview for the next episode. Maroni finds out that he knows, and he brings both Jim Gordon and Penguin in there. So it's like,
Not
ooh,
good
him
look.
coming back in town is making stuff start to sparks fly.
Yeah.
And when Maroni found out, he hit him with that Rick James real quick, like 5 fingers. Bow! Right there on the table.
Yeah, just from the preview
He
that we
was
saw.
like, whoa.
No, I would like to go back to, the rift that this Oswald Cobblepot thing brings between Jim and Barbara. Who is Barbara in this episode to be like, you're keeping secrets from me, I'm going to kick you out, when it's like, weren't you just making out with someone in their home?
And I'm sure it was
last
worse than
episode?
making out,
Yeah. I mean, being a girl, we kind of find a little leniency in it, but still, cheating is cheating. It is what it is.
A little what in it? What did
I
you
was
say?
gonna say a little leniency in it, being a somewhat attractive other girl that is making out with, but that's just a guy point of view.
Yeah, no. What is the guy point of view with all of the women making out with each other in the show? So we had Barbara. I don't think that we've seen as much male and female action as we've seen female action in this show. We've seen.
Well, they know their audience. Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, we have Fish. We had Barbara and Montoya last episode, and now we have Fish and Plan B/Liza. Anyway, yeah, just putting that out there.
I mean, like I said, we're not writing the episods, so keep
All we
on
can
doing
do
your
is
thing.
comment.
All we can do is sit
All
and
we can
watch
do is
these pretty women kiss each other. I apologize if that upsets you. But
It doesn't upset me. It doesn't upset me.
And before we move on, I also want to give a shout out to our boys at Gotham Addicts. Again, we always shout you guys out. What's up? Say what's up sometime. You know, send us some retweets, some favorites. Yes, don't forget to check them out on Twitter right now. And don't change the screen. Keep us on too. You got to watch both of us at the same time. Okay? So, we also saw all the different murders between all the politicians that we were seeing too, which brings us to our next point. We are all curious to know who is, I'm gonna call him Black Lavender, that we were watching.
Black Lavender.
Yes, who is Richard Gladwell and what is his identity? I know David brought up a good point during the episode. Who did you brought up a name out there from the DC world?
Well, you know, in the beginning of the episode, I was trying to figure out who this guy was, and I figured maybe he could be one of the incarnations of Black Spider. But then as the episode went on, I was like, no, that can't be it. So I thought maybe it was some made-up character for the show. But the fact that he's got a very specific weapon that he uses, you know, that's very specific. That's very Gotham-ish. So I think that maybe he is somebody. I just have to do some more digging.
Yeah.
Well, he is. He was working for both sides, which is kind of a cool thing. And just TV and film, he might be like a mercenary and stuff like that, where he just gets paid to whoop some ass.
Did we ever find out who his employer actually was?
No.
No.
We didn't even
Do we have any? Do we
He
have
might not
any
even
guesses?
necessarily be working for the two crime families.
Yeah,
That's
he could be
true.
someone else. I mean,
He
like,
could be working. Yes.
do you think he'd be working for
Ooh.
Penguin as well?
Wait a minute. Well,
Penguin
for some
be on
reason-
top of everything.
Hey, when you
Yeah.
pointed that out right there, like he might not be working for Maroni or Falcone.
Right.
I don't know if this is right. I don't know if I'm just throwing this out there, but I'm gonna say he might be working for the League of Shadows. We can
Oh,
throw
really?
that out there because remember they're always around.
I was gonna guess Fish. I mean, if she's trying to like kill off Falcone and Maroni people, I was
Not
thinking
League
maybe
of Shadows.
Fish.
What's the other one? The City of
Owls?
Owls.
Is it? What is it? It's not the League of Owls. What are they? Owl Society? I don't know.
Owl
Maybe.
City? No.
I feel like that one. Just
But no,
not
no,
known enough.
I've been waiting to hear about that. But I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the stuff that Gotham has released, you know, in their panels on New York Comic Con. But I was looking into if they were going to do anything with the League of Owls, although I'm sure I'm saying it incorrectly because I can't remember. But I've heard, I think it sounds like that wasn't going to happen. I don't know. I think people were asking questions about it. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me on what he said about it. But I don't think. I think
But
that
what
was
does
the part.
working both sides do for like the war in general? How is that going to affect the way people see, you know, so does everyone on Maroni and Falcone think that they've killed each other, or they just random people dying?
That's what it seems like at this point. I mean, even then, there was really no closure as to who the guy was or who he was working for. So
Yeah.
right now, we're just going to keep spinning the Inception top, and it's
Well,
going to
here's
keep spinning.
here's one of the things. This is something I picked up on. Remember, Gordon was trying to figure out what CLM was, right? And so then CLM ended up being the names of the cops that were on duty to protect the mayor. But then he got there. It's not that the cops were dead; they just weren't there. So they left their posts, like all of them. So whoever this hitman was, and these cops conveniently left, somebody was hired high up that can manipulate the cops enough to get this guy out of there. So it's somebody up high that has that power.
That reminds me about you were, you know, was it maybe the police? Was it maybe the police that was
I'm gonna just put
getting
this
them?
out there
I was
now.
gonna say that's making me think about what you were talking about
I'll just put
earlier.
this out there now. I mean, I get a very bad, incredibly bad vibe.
Did you do your tongue twisters tonight? You need to do your tongue twisters.
Okay. I get a very bad vibe from Bullock. And I'm gonna just say that now.
Oh, shit.
And I'm gonna even put this out there that might not even be true, but I'm reaching for the stars. I'm gonna say he shot the parents. That's why he's so like quickly to like push that to the side and move on to something else. But I could be wrong. We'll see what they wrote in there.
Yeah.
But
And
I feel like I don't like him.
And I think that's a long shot. But you let us know on Twitter. You say Devon's crazy. Devon's stupid. It's not Bullock. We love Bullock. You say Devon has great facial hair as well. Whatever you want to say.
girl,
Oh, his
Tell
beard
us.
is on point.
Always
tonight.
on point, you know what I'm
Beard is
saying?
on point.
But guys, you please let us know who you think that guy is, because I honestly don't really know who the guy was.
Yeah,
I
you
thought
guys
he
are having
was-
your computers out right now.
Yeah.
So you could help us out because
Exactly,
we
do all
want to
the
know, and we
Googling.
might even be able to bring it up on the screen later and talk about it.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying, because
exactly.
I'm like I said, we're shooting in the dark right now. I don't know. He might just be an escaped convict, or maybe he just hated those politicians.
Pretty cool though. Pretty cool guy. Pretty slick.
Pretty slick. Pretty slick. He needed
I know
a little trim.
it was a very like steampunky kind of weapon, right? It was very intricate. Looked like it was made out of gold. Very cool.
Try to be prepared. You might see that weapon again later on in the season, as David was saying, because that's a very monumental thing.
Yeah, it's
so
too
like
cool.
maybe it was going to be reused by an actual villain in the DC universe. Maybe this was just a setup, you know.
Yeah.
So we can, expect maybe some of that.
I think the inspiration for that guy is probably from the comics. If it's not an exact reference of the comic of a character, he might be inspired by somebody. Maybe one of the old storylines has a mercenary coming from, maybe he's from another city or something like that, coming to wreak havoc and cause some problems.
That's an interesting thought, though, that in these in this show we don't necessarily have to just preview villains. We could preview like weapons as well. Why not?
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you got to set it up somehow. So, and then so moving on. The mayor suggests that the Wayne plan also would mean like millions and millions of dollars for what was Carmine, Falcone, or pretty much whoever is
Exactly.
taking on the
Whoever ends
Whoever-
up with the contracts to develop
Exactly.
these things.
Whoever is in charge of the Wayne plan for the asylum would bank out, because I think, who wanted what? They wanted the asylum to just be revamped.
Yeah.
The Wayne plan was just the asylum be revamped, and then Maroni was the waste.
Yeah, he wanted the waste management, and then Carmine wanted the low income or whatever is
Low-income
affordable
housing
housing.
or something like that.
So, I mean, we can at
The
this point.
affordable housing was part of the Wayne plan as well.
Oh, that one was?
Yeah.
Okay, so affordable housing, thank you, David. Affordable housing and then the asylum being rebuilt.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
they took out the asylum part and they want to scrap it and do the waste management and the low-income housing, which in the end, I think Carmine got the low-income and Maroni got the slums or whatever you want to call
There's
it.
still
So,
gonna be
but-
the asylum.
There's
Yeah.
still going to be the asylum.
Yeah, so
okay.
so
there you go.
the Wayne plan would have been, whatever it would have been, whoever owned that contract would have had made millions and millions of dollars. So we want to know whether that had a lot to do with the Waynes being murdered, and maybe that's who did it.
Which I'm very sure it probably did. And I mean, my assumption, call it what you want, whenever I see like a show or a movie, when there's like some really, really, really rich old white men, they always tend to want more money. It's like enough is never enough.
They're like,
you know what I'm saying? What do you say in Rush Hour 2? Chris Tucker said, follow the rich white man. I started doing that. And
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, the fish. Yes. I'm saying, I would see Carmine.
Chelsea Clinton.
Carmine, he don't need no more money, but he want more.
Yeah.
Maroni don't need
$1
no
million.
more money, he want more. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? And in the end, who truly benefits from it? Because we all assume the leaders of the mob gangs and whatnot are going to do it. But I feel like there's a lot of little names. I'm saying Bullock just because I don't like him. I don't get a good vibe.
Well, that makes
love
more
it.
sense, because if there's going to be like a big twist or something for a show, the mayor just right there said that it's kind of a red herring. The Waynes we're standing to make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So then it gets us thinking that, all right, so it must have been the Falcone people, since now they own that contract and now they're benefiting from it.
Well, I think it's interesting. We go all the way back to the first episode. Falcone says that I knew the Waynes. We were two sides of the same coin.
Respected them.
So maybe Falcone and the Waynes, this was their plan. But I mean, obviously, the Falcone can't be the face of the plan. The Waynes have to be.
Yeah.
So
great
I mean,
point.
could he kill them off to take the whole thing? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, why would he? I don't think so. And
Well-
then at the same time, if he kills them off and Maroni still gets half the plans, then his whole plan is
It might
shot.
not even have been directly for that Wayne contract. It might have just been to spark all the controversy between the two sides of the families. So going back to maybe, which we'll get to in a little bit, who is the mastermind behind the whole war?
Yeah.
Maybe they plan that to incite kind of like the new competition between the two families and all of Gotham to just like go nuts.
But who's just super stoked about Arkham Asylum, right? I mean, like, that's just going to be so cool to mine
Yeah.
all those
Yeah,
bad
totally.
guys in there.
Definitely.
Because we've already heard about that we're going to get Doctor Strange,
Yes.
right?
Which you have to.
And
Dr. Hugo Strange.
Hugo
You don't-
Strange.
We don't want to confuse it for the
yes,
Sorcerer
yes,
Supreme
very
here.
sorry.
She meant Hugo Strange, not
Hugo
Doctor
Strange.
Strange and Marvel, who we were waiting on in the movies and
Yeah.
stuff.
Who
we're
Joaquin
definitely
Phoenix
gonna get.
will not be playing.
Yes.
He flat out
Okay.
said,
He said I ain't doing it.
Nah, he
All
said
right.
nah.
Still got Jared Leto.
Hugo Strange, yes, Dr. Hugo Strange.
gonna be cool.
Yes. And just all of the other crazy people that go along with Arkham Asylum. It's going to be awesome.
It does. It opens up the foundation for like a lot of monumental villains in the Batman in this moment, the Gotham universe.
Yeah, for
And,
sure, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and YouTube shout outs to thank you for joining us in the chat. We've got Music for the Radio. What's up, man? Greg Matthews, how you doing? Ricardo Espinas.
Yo, what
Did I say that
up?
right? What's good? And I'm not sure how to say this one, but I'm gonna try it. The poety.
That
Pouty.
That Pouty.
I don't know.
That Pootie Tang? Okay. So, yeah, go ahead and subscribe now, stream.tv for all your favorite after shows, whether or not you're looking at Gotham, whether or not you're looking at The Flash. Come on, you will see us again.
I just want to ask a question, though, while we're talking about the Gotham universe.
Yes.
And so Jim Gordon, we know that his daughter eventually is Barbara Gordon,
Yes.
who becomes, Batgirl.
Batgirl.
So
I
this-
made a mistake on that a long time ago, and they let me know. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So the woman that he's with now does become his wife. I'm asking.
Maybe. We don't really know.
And so, but do we know Barbara Gordon's mother in the Batman universe? Or we don't know?
I mean, her mother is also named Barbara Gordon, correct?
Yeah.
I
So,
thought so.
I'm just asking.
See, the thing about DC Universe comics is that everything's different depending on who the writer is.
And that's
Oh,
what
absolutely. That's just comics in general,
I mean,
though.
in one issuance, Barbara Gordon died giving birth to the child. And the other one, Barbara Gordon Batgirl, aka, is adopted. And I mean, who knows?
Right, okay.
No, and
so it could just be a good way to just work the name Barbara.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
they're
there you
already,
go.
so
they're already introducing all of these characters 20, 30 years plus ahead of Batman. Why not?
Got it.
Yeah.
This is Spark stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody out there was probably thinking the same thing. Like, hold on a second. There's a lot of Barbaras going on.
Yeah.
Or Barbara Gordon's like really full of herself that she's like, I'm gonna name my daughter after me.
She could be.
So that's why I feel like she might have to pass away for a child to be named Barbara.
Yeah, because she don't
that's
got that
a more like
Batgirl
memorial.
personality. Something's got to.
No, it's
She does
Yeah.
kind of have that Oracle personality though, because she's like really into all the details, and when she gets it from like her lover Montoya.
Okay.
Did you?
We'll see. But,
But you got to be Batgirl before you become Oracle.
which is true.
Chain of events.
Do you? I
Just
mean,
like Batman
Gotham, you
can't
can
be
do what you
Batman
want.
without League of Shadows. It's
You can do what
not
you want.
possible.
You can make
probably
Fish
like having
Mooney out of
David on the
nothing.
show.
Yes.
Anyway,
And so, back to...
let's talk about my boyfriend.
Okay, we're gonna bring it back to your boy.
Because how many girls are in love with Robin Lord Taylor now? I would just like to say that.
And what
Sorry.
show is he from? Where he was blonde? Or-
Okay. So I mean, like, we're talking about Gotham, but okay, Walking Dead is amazing. And watched the premiere last night and saw Robin Lord Taylor.
I did.
Yeah, no, he pointed out because I saw the name in the credits and I was like, Robin Lord Taylor.
Oh, he was
He
the
was the-
kid from Accepted who had like he was
Yeah.
so
Oh,
ADD.
Accepted, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I got him.
And another-
Sorry.
and another-
I don't mean
Anyway,
to cut everybody
so-
off, so we got to get
yes,
back to the topic
back
at
to
hand.
Gotham.
Okay.
But
so,
accept.
is the Penguin, okay, aka Robin Lord Taylor, aka Accepted, whatever we want to call this blonde-haired, black-haired, long-nosed guy, is he the mastermind behind the war?
I think yes and no. I think this war, whoever is starting this, it's definitely not him. They've brought it to a certain point. I think Penguin's given it that push over the edge.
And I actually think that like he's fabricating it because we didn't even hear about it until he was saying it. Like it's kind of like Howard Stern said, like, you want to become the king of media, you call yourself the king of media. You want there to be a war, you say there's a war. And he's the
Self-fulfilling
first.
prophecy.
Yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy. I got to do those tongue twisters too.
All right.
And he, and he was the one that was talking about like, there's going to be a war, there's going to be a war. And so it's, it's
Yeah, I agree. At first I was like, maybe he does see his end game being this like major criminal running Gotham, so he would be the mastermind. But I don't think he's quite there yet. I think he's piggybacking on what some major players are doing, and he's really finding his path to come out on top eventually and take over. Because being the mastermind might be a little too much heat for him.
Yeah.
See, and I think he's already made far bolder moves than any other villain that we've seen in the show so far. I mean, look at the fact that it turns out I called it. I'm like, he orchestrated that robbery of the restaurant. I was like, I didn't believe it, and I was right. And I mean, like, who else has done that? I don't know. I think that he's on top of it, and he's like the next generation of Gotham villains.
Right.
A little foreshadowing to when he gets to his iceberg lounge later on,
Yes.
which is like his
Yeah.
crime central.
He just happens to be the manager now of the restaurant.
But I
So,
don't see him putting any sharks in the water in those.
Well, we don't know. They got some years to do that. You
Yeah,
know what
I
I'm saying?
mean-
He got some remodeling and stuff to do. I mean, we don't know what time period the show is in.
That's
I
true.
assume it's in the past, but we
Right
don't
now,
know.
though, I mean, he's setting him like the way we see the show. He's the main villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Penguin in general is a major storyline. So
Well, I wouldn't. Well, actually, I don't even really consider him a villain at this point. I think he's just an independent player.
for sure.
Because no, I
You
mean,
don't get, but he's killing lots of people.
yeah, but he's only
finding his
killing the bad
identity.
people.
Yeah.
He's only killing the bad
Okay,
people.
hold on. All right, yeah,
He's
that's
not
right.
doing
He killed
things
it.
for like a
He killed
noble
the things.
reason.
But I think our villains so far are the mob bosses, and I think Penguin is the independent player taking advantage of the mob bosses. So I don't know if he's our main villain.
I think whenever you are taking human life for personal gain and not like self-defense, I'm pretty sure I'd call that being.
Well, I mean, we can't forget where Oswald, aka the Penguin, originated from. Fish, which brings us to realize now she has that new girl
look at
coming
that.
around who they call Liza. We don't really know. Vi calls her Liza Minnelli. I call her Liza Thornberry because she's talking to fishes. So I don't really know what to call her, but her job interview was definitely interesting. The whole like, it's two of y'all and I got one position left. Like my first thought would have been, hey, you know what? I got other job interviews. You know what I'm saying? If you need it, you can have it.
Yeah, I got a job. I got
you
an
know.
interview at like Starbucks tomorrow. It's really promising.
Yeah, but
I'd
they
rather
just
not.
instantly went at it, and they just like went with the hair first, and then she just beats her to a pulp, and then she's like, when do I start?
Yeah.
And she don't even know what the job
Yeah, she don't even
is.
know what job
Yeah.
it is. Like,
And neither do we.
It's kinda
I'm sitting here like,
reminiscent.
what is her
I
job?
think they
you
ripped
know-
that scene out of The Dark Knight.
They did, of
Where
course.
it's like, we're having tryouts, and the
Yeah,
Joker
yeah.
snaps
Those
the
are
thing,
good.
and it's, they ripped that whole scene out of there. I mean, it was cool, but...
But she classifies her as her new weapon.
Yeah.
And so there has to be something she's using. And I mean, you see the people that
Oh.
she'd be going up against. I doubt that her little street brawling is going to take down.
Yeah,
I
no.
mean, if she really needed a
But-
weapon, she got the 9-foot tall Italian dude.
Yeah, but who did Fish have killed in the last episode? She had Falcone's girlfriend killed. She's like, oh, who's Falcone dating? And then at the end, Falcone's like, and
I
at the
see
end,
what you're getting
Falcone's
at.
like,
That's what
oh, someone killed my girlfriend.
Oh,
really,
so
really
maybe
sad.
she'll be the
So-
new Gumon.
The new- yeah, the new girl.
That's what I was talking about.
new girl.
I was
Yeah.
saying she keeps asking for seduction. She's looking for seduction. I was like, maybe that's the one she's going to use to get in there close enough to Falcone to where he goes to sleep or something. And then if she can take him out, you know what I'm saying? To make sure she's bold enough to do something like that.
With
So-
those lips, though, I think she'll get right in there.
And just so
Yeah.
you know, I don't
Red in
know
there.
Lips.
whoever
Red.
thought that a back massage was a seduction.
I know, that was great.
Well,
yeah,
obviously,
she's like, let me give you the most awkward. Let me get Dylan.
I'm
this is
seducing
my,
you.
Oh,
Oh, wait, should we
hey.
do our handshake now?
Okay, so when I first met Dylan, I was like, Dylan, you son of a bitch. What's the matter? CIA got you pushing too many pencils. Oh.
Just so y'all know, that's
Yeah,
from
who knows what that is.
Predator.
No, don't tell him.
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure
told
people are
us.
sitting there
That's
right now
what
like,
we
what the
could
hell am I
call
looking
it.
at? I just want them to know because I find that very interesting. That was like my favorite
Dylan.
scene. And I didn't want people to be interested with me as
Yes,
well.
very
And
interesting.
No, that's only the best handshake in the history of
the
all
strongest
handshakes, I'm
handshake
pretty
ever
sure.
seen in life, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
But moving on to our fan
Let's talk
questions.
about
Okay.
fan questions.
First one comes from @GMC Sparrin3. Do you think Penguin will now be an informer to Gordon since he almost died when informed, quote unquote, to Montoya? I think you were saying something about that, David, with the whole thing about him setting himself up now to dish information to Gordon.
I think he's definitely going to inform Gordon, but I think he's going to inform Gordon specifically in a way that
Benefits him,
that
sure.
benefits him. Like, for instance, I'm going to tell you about this person because you're taking out my competition, or I can take advantage of that. I think he's going to use Gordon's good nature against Gordon to further his own goals.
Okay. All right. I can
How
see
did
that.
how did he almost die when he informed Montoya? I mean, like, is that you mean
Because
like
Montoya
that's-
was an idiot and went and questioned Fish about it.
yeah, and then that's the
then-
whole reason
and
why
then
like
Fish was like, "Oh, I know
like,
it was
fake
him."
his death.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
All right.
Pretty solid on that one.
Yeah, you know,
that was a pretty good
I feel like we got a
answer.
mutual
I
agreement.
agree.
Moving on to number 2, from Matches Malone, I think from YouTube. I think I'm talking to you. Do you think the show could benefit from having a longer detective story that's more layered and spread through several episodes as opposed to these one-shot open and shut cases? Woo! I had to catch a breather
Well,
on that one.
I'll take that one.
Matches.
I think I know what you're getting at, but I think the whole story arc is kind of a whole long season of like what is going to happen with the two crime families. I think season 1, maybe after season 1, the crime families won't even be part
Or
of
the
it.
Wayne
but-
murders.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say the Wayne
Yeah,
murder
the
is
Wayne
like
murder
the
is
one
like-
case that's open the whole time.
And that'll be like across maybe the whole 10 seasons, however long it does.
God, I hope I don't have
But
to
I
wait
think
that
it's good.
long.
I like when shows do both. I like when shows have one long story arc for the season to keep you like interested and maybe solve that, and then every week go ahead and solve one murder or mystery or something. Just
Yeah,
to
of
keep
course. You got to give some kind of
excited.
closure, and even if
Because
it's temporary little
the
battles.
heroes have to go through trials before they can get to.
Yeah.
It's like a video game. You got to beat the mobs before
You
you
gotta
can
go through
to
the
boss.
bosses, yeah.
I feel like the Wayne's thing is the war, and these little battles are just the obstacles that give Gordon, his like grittiness, his experience. Eventually the mustache, which we're all waiting for. I don't know if y'all waiting for as much as me, the mustache and the
Yeah,
glasses.
I can't wait that.
Cool. On to number 3, from @Numobi.
Hey, Numobi.
Do you think the Gotham would be better off leaving Bruce Wayne's story out? Ooh.
You know, I honestly was thinking about this because part of me is, I mean, like, number one, I think that little kid is a great actor. I'm generally, are you giggling?
No, I just
Disagree?
hiccuped. I just hiccuped.
I was like,
caught my breath.
okay, let's throw it down. Because I think that little boy is actually a surprisingly great actor. And I was reading an interview with, I don't know if it was Bruno or some other producer that was talking about how like Bruce actually wasn't going to have that large of a part until they cast that little boy, and they were like, wow, this kid's the real thing.
I guarantee you a big decision was whether or not Bruce Wayne would be in it at
Yeah.
all. That was probably a big meeting.
Well, the thing is, I feel like you have to have him because people that don't necessarily pay too much attention to the comics aren't going to care who the hell Jim Gordon is. No offense, Ben McKenzie or nobody or the writers or whatever. But when they hear Bruce Wayne, they're like, oh, Batman.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it, it keeps them gripped like, what can I see?
I
However-
think it is getting interesting to where we're starting to see how Bruce is learning his lessons that turn him into the Bat.
And he's
Yeah.
smart.
And not only that, like as far as keeping the story arc goes, Vi, why don't you tell them about what you told me at Comic-Con?
What did I talk about at Comic-Con? Oh. So are you guys keeping up with all the stuff that we're learning at New York Comic Con? I wish I was there so I could like see all these panels and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm watching them all. And some of the producers, some of the writers, some of the showrunners are talking about how are revealing some more of the people that we're going to meet. And we're going to meet Tommy Elliott, which is perfect because, right, like Tommy Elliott is Bruce's childhood friend. So hopefully we're going to be
AKA
seeing
Hush.
Yeah, Hush eventually. And they also said, what's her name? Is it Leslie, the woman who runs the clinic, who also tends to be like a surrogate parental figure to him. And I think they said like episode 6 or 7 or something like that. And yeah, then they also confirmed.
I'm waiting for
Strange
Zsasz.
and Zsasz.
Yeah, we're waiting for Victor Zsasz.
I've seen
He'll
the
be
trailer
there.
already.
Yeah.
Where the hell is he? I want
wanna see him
Zsasz.
too.
Exactly. Who's seen the trailer with Zsasz, in the police thing with the 3 slices on his arm?
And on to the live fan question. Thank you from @FelixNunez249. Do you think Harley Quinn will make an appearance as Dr. Quinn when Arkham Asylum is open? Well,
You have
before
to.
we give it to you, Vi, I'm going to give it to you, girl. I know that's your girl. I think she probably will. I mean, maybe not. Maybe she would be too young at this time to be actually a doctor because Harley Quinn really isn't that old.
But look what they're doing with everybody else.
Yeah.
I
And
really
then
don't
again,
think it
so,
matters.
Yeah, maybe. But either way, I mean,
But I
I'm
don't
iffy
think
about
it's
it.
fair introducing Harley without the Joker.
Without Joker, okay. And what you think?
Well, I was just going to say that maybe, depending on the origin they go with for
Yeah.
Joker, I feel like if she is going to be a doctor, Joker would seem like a pretty perfect patient for a mental
There you go.
institution. So that might be where they link up.
Well,
And
it is
now-
where they link up.
Well,
Yeah,
in Gotham,
well, yeah,
but now
she-
in Gotham.
No, like even in the
Yes,
comics,
yes,
she was
so-
Yeah.
Joker's
She was a
psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist, yeah.
There we go.
But I never
So-
noticed this in the pilot, or I never mentioned it in the pilot episode. I saw it, but I didn't say anything about it because we got 1,000 things we got to talk about. But there was a character with the last name of Quinn. And I was like, yo, it's at Harley's daddy. So anyway, but like in the New York, in some of the stuff that they said in the New York Comic Con is they said, like, quote, like, we will get there or something like that. So like she is on their plate, which is really exciting because we haven't had we've had animated, interpretations of her, but we haven't had a live version of her, and that's really exciting. But I don't know necessarily if when he said, like, we will get there, if that means this season, or if Fox loves Gotham and wants to keep him around forever. But I want my Harley, so I want however many seasons of Gotham I need to get Harley.
When they cast Harley, she better be a bombshell.
I was just going to
better-
say.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go there. I'm glad you brought it up.
we talking about physique. Remember, we
I
talking
know.
about physique.
I was like,
I don't
yo,
want to
she
see one of
always
these
looks
little
good.
skinny girls
She always
with
looks
like
good.
flat chest.
No.
She better have everything.
And she better be able to do her
Totally
own.
hating on the
Harley.
flat-chested girl.
And the accent.
And she better be able to do her
Yes,
own
the
little
queen.
acrobatics and stuff. I bet
bad.
some cartwheels and some front
bad.
walkovers and stuff. I want to see it. And shout out to from the BC. What's up? And at the Joe Choi.
Jake
I
Choi.
remember I told you
Jake
I was going
Choi.
to shout you out, and we saw you.
We'll get his
no
name
more.
right.
Yeah.
What did he eat in the thing? What's the Italian
Jake
dessert?
Choi, you're eating the cannoli.
No
How's
more
the
cannolis, Jake. You see what happened,
No,
okay?
cannolis are
And
so good. I would take them too.
At Gotham on 5. I know you guys just had your premiere of episode 1 today, so check out episode 1 of Gotham.
You sure that's
episode
not
2.
like the Jamaican version? Gothamon.
Come on.
Yeah.
Or like Pokemon, like Gotham. That's what I thought.
Maybe, you never know. And don't forget to check out at Gotham Talk, okay? And their podcast at blogtalkradio.com/Gotham Talk. Okay.
Good stuff.
And yeah, I mean, overall, I thought the show was pretty good. You know, I enjoyed it. It definitely, like one of y'all was saying, I can't remember which one, but you were saying this one was a very detective-driven episode.
Yeah.
They had a lot of investigation. David.
That
Yes.
was my thing. You know, I've been harping every episode that why it's Batman's the world's greatest detective. It's DC Comics, which stands for Detective Comics. Batman premiered in Detective Comics as opposed to Action Comics. But and he's Detective Gordon, and there's no detective work being going on.
Yeah. Well,
that's
and I
what's
finally saw some
That's
detective
what's
work.
really
and
cool
I'm
about this
excited.
show is that you have some like superhero ethos. You have like Italian mafia type of crime show, and then of course like your typical network cop show.
Yeah. You get a little bit of everything
Yeah.
in here, and it
Little
helps
bit
you
of
keep
everything.
on going with the mythology of it, you know, because you get getting the little Easter shells and Easter eggs that we keep seeing in there.
Easter shells.
Easter
I
shells.
love
you know.
Easter shells.
Easter
Don't
eggs.
we all? Easter eggs. That's what I meant to say. But yeah.
Say it. She said shells.
But anything you thought from the episode? Go ahead.
I really dug this one. I mean, I keep complaining about the fact that the show has like a bit of identity crisis, and so I kind of enjoyed like the focus of this episode. It took me in a lot more.
Yeah.
Definitely, it was a lot better narratively. The story
Yeah.
just made sense.
Well, guys, I mean, there you go again. You got our review of the episode. We want to hear what you got to say, so please, hashtag GothamAS, and, comment on YouTube. Any way you can get a hold of us, send a pigeon. I don't give a damn. Let us know how you feel and what you like. And go ahead and subscribe now to theStream.tv, okay, on YouTube, and continue to tweet us. Like I said, GothamAS, hashtag that, GothamAS. We are very interested, and we tend to, communicate with our people. We love y'all. Hopefully y'all love us. See you next week after the episode 5 of Gotham. And yeah.
But see you tomorrow.
Oh, and see you tomorrow after the Flash. Me and Dylan gonna be on
We
there
back.
too.
We come back.
We coming back. So see you tomorrow and see you next week. Deuces.
Selena.
Peace.